Welcome everybody to our TechEd session IIS 113. My name is Stefan Lahr and I'm working for the Customer Experience and Solutions area of SAP. For today, I have prepared the following agenda. First, I would like to start with a value proposition of SAP Cloud ALM for operations, and then I would like to give an outlook to our future scope. So, first of all, SAP Cloud ALM for operations. Let me give some additional explanations to this area. SAP Cloud ALM is a brand new cloud-based ALM offering. It is intended for the intelligent enterprise for cloud-centric customers. It manages cloud and hybrid solutions, and it supports all components of the intelligent enterprise. SAP Cloud ALM is operated by SAP in the public cloud, and it is completely rethought, new designed, and new built on modern cloud technologies. So in fact, it was not possible to take any code line over from already existing operation platforms. Everything is brand new. SAP Cloud ALM supports a complete project cycle by offering features and functions to support the implementation phase. For example, via project documentation, test management, and change management, to name just a few here. And of course, also it supports the operation phase. Only the SAP Cloud ALM for operations part is in scope of this session today. So with this, let me come to the value proposition of the SAP Cloud ALM for operations. This tool, this functionality, this operation platform gives the customers the power to detect problems, including automated alert management and automated corrections. Also, we want that customers are empowered to understand the healthiness of their solution and the efficiency of their operation. Therefore, we are providing with SAP Cloud ALM for operations end-to-end transparencies for users, integration, applications, and business processes. Also, we want to give the customers the possibility to detect anomalies and enables the line of businesses as well as the IT area users to identify disruptions and react to them sufficiently. Also, Cloud ALM for operations should determine root cause of issues and allow root cause analysis on technical as well as on business process level. And last but not least, it should also enable operation automation by event-driven or regular triggered operation flows. So let's have a look at the core capabilities that we are planning to offer with SAP Cloud ALM for operations. The first flavor that we have in mind here is the monitoring for integrated and powerful monitoring with focus on business processes, integration, users, and application aspects. Then, once you have detected the problem, it comes to the alert and event management for use case specific alert calculation, including alert clustering plus intelligent event processing. And then we have the third core capability. This is the analytics and intelligence area. Here we try to provide really root cause analysis with business process analytics and technical analytics based on advanced analytics and prediction capabilities. And last but not least, we also want to offer operation automation. This should work reactive and proactive for operation flows to avoid repeating tasks and increase overall operation quality. Now let's come to the overview of how Cloud ALM is addressing the fully integrated problem management. First, let's start with the problem detection area. Here we are offering different kinds of monitoring. To name a few here, we have the business process monitoring capabilities. We offer integration monitoring, as well as synthetic and real user monitoring. Maybe some words regarding this. Synthetic user monitoring means that we are previously recording user tasks, we are editing them, and then we let these scripts execute via robots that are installed decentralized in the customer environment. And so we are able to monitor 24/7 if certain applications are available and respond with sufficient performance without that the real user is involved in this concept. In addition to this, we also offer the real user monitoring here. And with the real user monitoring, we are able then to measure the performance that each user has experienced when a real activity that he has triggered is executed in the monitored components. Further flavors of the monitoring that we are planning to offer here is application monitoring, system and health monitoring, and we are also will be able to consume metrics that are collected by IT infrastructure monitoring features and functions that are third-party based or that are already available on the customer side. Once a problem is detected, of course, it has to be handled. Therefore, we have the problem routing capabilities. These are basically two capabilities here. We have the alert management, and also we have the intelligent event processing. Here we have changed our concept from other operation platforms like Solution Manager or maybe Focused On, if you know them. We have here decoupled the alert management from the intelligent event processing. This means the alert management is now integrated into each of the applications. So you find an alert information in the integration monitoring as well as in the real user monitoring or business process monitoring application. And the decoupling happens in the way that we are giving flexibility to the customers to define rules to or via the intelligent event processing, what should be a follow-up activity that occurs out of this critical event or alert. And once this rule is established and the rule is valid, then it will hand over the critical event to the problem resolution area. There we are also offering different features and functionalities that can be grouped into 4 main areas. First one to mention here is the operation automation. This is based on SAP Cloud Platform workflow as an external component or on operation flow that is integrated into the SAP Cloud ALM for operations application. You also can decide that a certain event is handed over to our notification management. So an email gets sent out to the responsible support organization. We can also hand it over to chat, to instant messenger. And we are also planning to provide the information via social media. For example, Twitter could be possible here. In the root cause analysis area, we want to provide features and functions for business process analytics as well as for technical analytics. And also it would be possible to create a ticket out of a certain event in the ticket management tool or in a third-party event management capability. Good. What would come next and what would be our vision for the full picture? There I also have prepared the following slide. At the end, for fully integrated business service and event management, I have to explain a little bit our concept that we have in mind here. So business services can consist of several cloud services or of a combination of cloud services and on-premise components. So real-time evaluation will be done based on data that are coming from the Cloud Availability Center and or from the alert and event management components, where then also the data for the alert and event management will come from the different monitoring capabilities as well as from the system and health monitoring that is integrated in the SAP Cloud ALM for operations. As a functionality on the business service management side, we have in mind to offer here business downtime management, business event calendar, business service level agreement management, and also business event scheduling, all based on these components that you can imagine structured like a scenario that can consist, as I said already, on cloud applications or cloud services only, or of a combination of cloud services and on-premise components. And then also for this complete overview. Once a certain critical situation is detected by a real-time evaluation of the different data sources in the context of a certain business service, we can then, based on the rules, trigger the intelligent event processing, so that then finally we hand over this to the operation automation section again, to the notification management, or to third-party integration. And so we hope that we address all the needs that we see on customer side to operate a modern system landscape that consists of many cloud services and maybe also partially of on-premise components in a very efficient and effective way. With this, I would like to end this breakout session and point you to more information that you can find on TechEd. There are, to name, the IIS 107 session, find the right ALM solution for your cloud journey, the IIS 818 session with the title Roadmap for SAP Cloud Application Lifecycle Management, and also the IIS 265, which is a hands-on session with the title Process and Integration Monitoring with SAP Cloud ALM for Operations, where you get the chance then to really touch a system, to follow an exercise, documentation, to get a feeling, how is this implemented, how does it look like. Also, some links for information on public websites are added here. So we have the SAP Cloud ALM Solution Help Portal listed here, as well as the dedicated SAP Cloud ALM for Operations Expert Portal. Your journey on TechEd should not end with listening to this session. There are far more sessions available, as you already know. So please continue your learning experience on SAP TechEd, and also deepen and validate your SAP solution skills by subscribing to the SAP Learning Hub. With this, I would like to say thank you for your attending, and wish you a hopefully nice journey with further sessions on our TechEd this year. Thank you very much, and goodbye.